Hello, I'm Freddie Wheeler with Los Altos Residents. We're a community organization, and our mission is to inform Los Altos of important issues and to make sure that your voices are heard by the City Council, the city staff, and the commissioners. I'm here with Mayor Anita Enander, who's running for her second term as a City Council member. It's unfortunate that we've been subjected to negative campaigning in this election cycle, and in particular, a small group of very vocal people have been spreading misinformation about Anita and her voting record. Anita, please take this opportunity to set the record straight.
Thanks, Freddie. I appreciate being here and having this opportunity. It's really sad that one of my opponents is using Washington-style partisan smear tactics. We don't need that in Los Altos. That's not who we are. And I appreciate the chance to provide the facts. Let me talk about parklets first. I absolutely support having the parklets downtown. They're great. In fact, I made the first proposal to extend the parklets after the emergency order is lifted. I proposed it be for 1 year to give us time to deal with the legal, parking, sanitation, and other issues. My colleagues defeated that motion and passed a permanent motion, which I opposed because of my concerns about issues like sanitation. By the way, we now have rats, legal issues, and so on. So I then proposed a mandatory review after 1 year to deal with those issues, and that passed unanimously. Regarding the community center, my opponent has again misrepresented my actions. I voted for the budget appropriation for the community center. What I did not vote for, which was a completely different vote at a different meeting, was to award the construction contract to the only company that bid. Our financial policies call for multiple bids on major projects, and I was following good government practices. If you were spending the most money ever on a project, wouldn't you want more than one bid? Let me talk about the legal bills and legal costs, which is another complete misrepresentation. We got sued over a development project. It was because a manager didn't turn in a report to the state, the city manager didn't notice, and the city attorney then didn't use the right part of the law in recommending what staff should do. Council didn't even know about the project until after staff had turned it down, which was just a couple of weeks after Councilmember Flieger and I had been seated on the council. Then the city manager and city attorney recommended we hold an appeal hearing and reject the project, which we did by a vote of 5-0. None of the employees involved work for the city anymore, and we haven't been sued since they left. But in the meantime, the owners of that project threatened a second suit. My colleagues appointed me and one other council member, both of us having planning commission experience, to try to negotiate a settlement. We were successful for a fraction of what would have been claimed, and our colleagues approved it again unanimously. Let me talk about climate change. I've said unequivocally that climate change is real and accelerated by human activities. We need to do what we can to continue to reduce the carbon footprint of city operations and adapt to the effects to help our residents. That means protecting green space and our trees, providing cooling centers for vulnerable seniors, and protecting the sewage treatment plant from sea level rise so that our toilets will still work. I could go on, but I'm not going to go through the other assertions because there's really one last thing I just have to mention. It's not about city business, but it's important to me, and it's important to many people. Just because I made one small contribution to a partisan youth group, one donation in decades, I'm being represented as supporting something completely contrary to what I believe in and what I stand for. I am absolutely for a woman's right to choose and control her own reproductive health. In 1972, I marched for women's reproductive rights. For 50 years, I've never quit fighting for those rights in the workplace and in the doctor's office. My opponent doesn't know me. He's never talked with me about this. He's made assumptions and implications and tried to smear me. And really, that is what should concern people the most, that a candidate for our city council repeatedly makes assumptions and takes positions and dismisses this woman without bothering to get the facts, because he obviously believes Washington-style dirty partisan politics will work in Los Altos. I think Los Altos voters are smarter than that. And I invite anyone who wants to talk further about these or any other issues to call me at 650-380-5181. Thanks, Freddie. I really appreciate the chance to talk with your folks and to our broader community.
Thank you, Anita. I'm glad you had this opportunity to set the record straight.